Tatsunoko update.
Hello everyone and welcome back. In my last video I promised to do a recap of Frosty Faustings once it was done, so here we are. I went over what Frosty is and why it's so important to our scene in that video, but for a quick recap of the competitive history, we started running at first in 2016. Magno Man X won the first 3 tournaments from 2016 to 2018, then starting in 2019, K-Beast, who had placed second twice already, started a winning streak that remains unbroken for 6 years, has a chance to extend to 7 at the 10th anniversary of TVC at Frosty Faustings in 2025. Coincidentally, the 15th anniversary of the North American Wii release of the game was on January 26th, 2025, just one day after this 10th anniversary tournament at Frosty on the 25th. Wow, that's pretty crazy, right? I'm not really a superstitious person or anything, but that's a heck of a coincidence. Would it be too much to call it auspicious? Not at all. That's an auspicious coincidence if I've ever seen one. So, this most auspicious of Frosty Faustings happened on the 25th of January 2025, and there were 25 total entrants when registration closed. Whoa, that's the same number too. And it's divisible by 5, just like the other anniversaries. It's actually the 2 anniversaries added together. 10 plus 15 equals 25. Whoa! 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 Oh my god, whoa! 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 Oh my god! Pools ran first thing Saturday afternoon. Shoutouts once again to B-Hop Esports for providing us the setups that we needed to run this tournament. By the time we were down to the top 8, K-Beast was once again poised in winners to take the whole thing. The bracket was as tough as ever this year, with a number of newer players, or formerly online-only players, coming out to their first Frosty. Notable upsets include 2nd seed Dawa Dawa entering top 8 in losers after a loss to True Gamer in the final round of the pool, and 8th seed Empty Shiki going 0-2. Other than that, every person who made it into the top 8 was actually seeded top 8 heading into the tournament, with James taking the spot that Empty Shiki gave up. 0-2? Wow, that's rough. Yeah, I said it was a tough bracket and I meant it. This is where the best TVC players come year after year to prove themselves. You know, I actually put Shiki into losers first round. I felt like I was playing pretty well this year, especially consider it was my first year using my new team of Joe the Condor and Chun-Li full time. Hey, that's awesome. So why didn't you make top 8? Man, shut up. One other noteworthy thing that happened in pools was that at a nearby Sam Show 7 station, someone won a game and started to pop off. He got so excited that he ran past our ongoing pools screaming and then punched a hole in the wall. Last I heard, he apologized and offered to pay for the damage, so good on him I guess, but let's not make a habit of this. Top 8 for TVC was run on Matchstick Melee, a longtime home channel for the game, and the sting of just barely missing top 8 was dulled by the fact that I got to do commentary for another year with my evil twin brother, JM Crofts.
Me and Kai Kennedy are kind of like Charmeleon and Charizard, so you can be Charmander if you want. I'll take it.
So top 8 looked like this heading in, and normally we'd run the matches in this order, but as always we had some conflicts to work around, so it went down a little more like this. Because GC Yoshi was in Guilty Gear Strive at the same time, we initially skipped to the second winner's bracket match first, which was True Gamer vs. Mad Eternal. Both of these guys are longtime TVC players and frequent high placers at Frosty Faustings, and this year they both came into top 8 in winner's bracket. While True Gamer, as always, showed off some of the sickest unblockable setups in the business, it ultimately wasn't enough, and Mad Eternal knocked him down to the losers bracket 2-0. Once again, buying some time for America's favorite bedman, we moved down to top 8 losers round 1 for Buku versus James. James, as always, was a big favorite of the crowd due to the fact that he plays Frank West, who's often considered a low-tier character with a very unique moveset. While James was able to take the first game and even got out to an early lead in the second, Buku ultimately stayed strong and took the set 2-1 with his classic Tekkaman, Blade, and Ryu squad, knocking James out of the tournament completely. At this point, GC Yoshi made it back to our side of the venue, and we warped back up to the top of the bracket to see the 2 Frosty Faustings roommates from NorCal, K-Beast and GC Yoshi, fight one another. While GC Yoshi is well known as a PTX main, probably the most notable giant player in the US, K-Beast mashed his freak in this situation and went for the gold Lightan pick. Lightan is often considered completely unviable in competitive play except for the PTX matchup, where a lot of TVC players consider him a counter pick for the other giant. So ultimately this is one of the few times you will ever see Lightan on the screen, and the crowd was definitely excited to see him. With a 1v1 match like this and no classic fighting game rounds, these matches go very quickly. K-Beast won the first match handily, but then GC Yoshi took the tying game just as fast. It was almost looking like GC Yoshi would knock the reigning champion down into losers, but a level 3 through a missile reclaimed the momentum and K-Beast was able to take the set 2-1. After that, we moved back down to clear out our other round 1 losers match, a showdown of 2 local Chicago players, Supra and Dawa Dawa. While Dawa Dawa picked his classic team of Zero Ryu, Supra went for a slightly unconventional team in Ipatsuman Morrigan. Unfortunately, this gambit didn't really work out too well. While there were a couple of good-looking moments, Dawa Dawa ended up taking this set with a quick 2-0. Moving forward in the bracket, Buku and True Gamer met next in losers quarterfinals. After Buku took the first game, True Gamer bounced back with an excellent second and evened the set up 1-1. He then proceeded to start strong in Game 3, pulling off this incredible combo which brought Tekkaman Blade down to death's door, but unfortunately for him, Blade did not quite die. Even with no health left on the screen, Buku was able to showcase the power of Tekkaman Blade, bringing it all the way back and defeating both characters with Blade still at pixel health. The other losers quarters match was played next, and it was Dawa Dawa versus GC Yoshi. This time we saw another classic PTX counterpick as Dawa Dawa swapped out his normal Ryu for a Saki to complement the Zero. This is one of the absolute most difficult matchups in the game for PTX, and Dawa Dawa showcased why, earning a quick and easy 2-0 victory without even ever having to tag in Zero.
The smile slowly fading from GC Yoshi's face there.
Winners Finals was next, featuring K-Beast and Metaternal. For all finals matches, we moved from 2 out of 3 to 3 out of 5, and this set started out very evenly, going to 1-1 after the first 2 games. K-Beast then took the third game, going up 2-1 in the set. While Metaternal had a strong start in the next game and looked like he was going to even it up, K-Beast played a very patient Morrigan and ended up stalling out at the end with a Valkyrie turn to secure the comeback win. After that, we traveled back down to losers bracket for losers semifinals, our final 2 out of 3 set of the day. Dawa Dawa pitted his Zero Ryu against Buku's Blade Ryu in a match of the classic top-tier teams. Dawa Dawa leveraged repeated Ryu overheads in the last round to take a 2-0 victory over Buku and secured a hug of questionable consent. So with that, Dawa Dawa secured his place in losers finals, going up against Metaternal, who had been knocked down previously by K-Beast. The local love overcame the character specialist appeal that the VJO player Metaternal had, and the crowd was cheering for Dawa Dawa heading into this match. Dawa went up to a commanding 2-0 lead, but Meta kept his composure and took the third and fourth games to tie the series up at 2-2. Meta then got off to a strong start in this fifth game, baiting a burst to take a meter and character advantage by defeating Zero with his Tekkaman. However, Dawa stayed strong and ended up taking the set 3-2, coming back with the solo Ryu. So, Dawa Dawa came into grand finals with a chance to dethrone the reigning champion K-Beast, a position he's been in before, but he was coming from losers, meaning he'd have to win 2 sets in a row in order to take the tournament. Dawa Dawa came out with a strong start in Game 1, taking out the Yatter 1 early, and kept riding that momentum as he took the first 2 games, threatening to put K-Beast into the losers bracket with just 1 more win. At this point, K-Beast went back to character select and made the decision to switch over to Yatterman 1 and Batsu. This is actually a more classic K-Beast team than the Yatter 1 and Morrigan that he had been using up until that point. The switch paid off for K-Beast as he did manage to take the next game, but just barely, as this next game went absolutely down to the wire. The game after that was similarly very close, but this time Dawa Dawa was able to tough it out and take the set 3-1, resetting the bracket. For people unfamiliar with double elimination brackets, this means that both players were now in the losers bracket and needed to play 1 more set to decide the winner of the tournament, so we reset back to 0-0. After the reset, K-Beast came out strong, demonstrating his mental toughness and ultimately taking the final set of the tournament in 3 straight games, winning 3-0.
So he won again, huh?
Yeah, he did. The streak is extended to 7 straight Frosty Faustings, although for a minute there I really thought Dawa Dawa was going to do it.
Same, he was looking really strong early in that set.
Yeah, not only did he reset the bracket, but he forced K-Beast to switch back to his classic team of Yatter 1 and Batsu instead of the Yatter 1 and Morrigan that he had been using for most of the tournament.
That is very interesting, especially considering he had used Yatter 1 Morrigan as a pocket team in the past and started using it as a primary team this year.
Huh. Yeah, I wonder if it's hard for Dawa Dawa to adapt after a switch like that, or if it's just something that K-Beast saw in the playstyle that he thought that team would work better.
Yeah, good question. I don't know.
Oh well, there's always next year.
Yeah, there's always next year.
So that pretty much closes the book on Frosty Faustings 2025. Congratulations to K-Beast for winning again, but I wanted to give a special shout out to Psycho Blue and Maki Garo for contributing $100 each to the Matcherino this year. I wasn't able to do my normal pot bonus because of some personal issues, so big thanks to them helping to make sure our players get a little something for their hard work. And thanks again as well to everyone who came through to play this year, everyone who watched the tournament, clicked a Matcherino code, hung out and chatted with us in the Discord, or just watched this video. This is your reminder to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you in the next video.